Hello, viewers, subscribers, and peeps. I'm going to be continuing on with the deep cool liquid cool. I'm just going to show how to mount the fans on the liquid cool and set up to get it ready to put it in the case. But I will be doing a full video on the full install. I'm just doing this step by step. I'm going to have it in different videos so that you can actually watch a video on different steps, so you don't have to be pausing and fast forwarding through to get the information that you need. So I figured this would be a lot more useful this way than making one big long video. Okay, so first of all, we're going to put our radiator. We're going to move everything else out of the way. I'm going to lay the radiator down this way. Okay. Now, for people that have not done this, I've installed these multiple times. So they give you a little envelope. And the envelope, they give you the instructions instead of an actual manual. They just give you something that you unfold. So, what you do is you unfold it. See, now it's going to show different pictures of the different type of installs. The one that we're going to be using is not on that side. Excuse me. So it's on the opposite side. This is for the AMD install bracket setups. I know it looks a little daunting, but if you've put together Legos and stuff like that, I'm sure you'll be able to follow the instructions in detail, what you need to do. I'm basically just looking at this because I need to see how they're doing the setup with this. Sometimes you can reuse the existing mounting points, and then sometimes you gotta take off the whole mounting points all together and put your own in. So let's take a look here. And you're no less of a man looking at the instructions instead of trying to guess what you're doing here. You save yourself time and effort by reading the instructions. So we are going to have to take off the whole base of the CPU fan mounting, and we're going to have to use this like I thought. This is for AMD, not Intel. So this is the one of the brackets here, but let me double check. I don't think this is the one. Take a look here. No, we're not using this one. This is for the Intel setup. I know I've used these past on my other AMD setup, so I don't know why it's different on this liquid cooler. But what are they going to screw to? Okay, it's not these brackets, it's not those. These ones here. Yeah, those ones right here. This is for the AM4 setup. I prefer AM4. They have faster processors than Intel at the moment. It's just my preference. I've always used AMD. Intel, I really find I just can't get like a lot of performance in the Intels. I find after they get so old, they start losing their speeds. I'm just trying to figure out what they're mounting it on. These instructions are not they're kind of vague. I guess they're reusing the existing mounting bracket by the looks of it. It's probably the one that's already on it. You're probably just taking off the two standoffs. I'll show you. See those two gray standoffs? Those are the ones you have to take off. I guess by the looks of it, you're just reusing the existing bracket there, and you're just screwing these. Just one sec here. I'll open up the package here. You're taking these right here. See this right here, the stud. That's going to screw into the existing mount. And then there's going to be something that mounts on the top of that. screws. Take a look here. So that goes this way. That's correct. That goes this way. Okay, now we need our silver screws and fan. Basically just going to show you all the different screws in that are available here, and basically I'm not going to show all the steps. This is just basically going to be to put the bracket on the base of the CPU cooler and mounting the fans. I will show the rest of the video on mounting everything else inside the case. So you will need these screws. Here's the next set. These chrome ones screw on top of these. So see this? That screws into these. Oh, sorry. That screws into that like that, and then that silver cap goes on the top of this bracket right there. There's two of these that you gotta mount on your CPU cooler, on the base with the pump that's on with the fan. Okay, so that's those parts that we need. So we can disregard all those Intel things. We don't need them. Okay, so now let's see which way they got the fans installed. Didn't know there was an optional bracket you can buy. Just looking at see if there's anything I'm missing here. I'm just hoping that it sucks the air out, because the instructions are showing to mount the fans this way, like this. So you got your fans up, blades up top, and what's going to be next to radiator is going to be the supports that holds the middle of the fan in. So it's going to go down like that. So your fan blades are going to be completely exposed. That's going to go up on the top. Now the other thing is what you got to be concerned about mounting these fans, where the wires are all going to run. Because if you mount that fan, like let's say you mount it this way, the wire's at the bottom, you may not have enough distance. You may mount it here and you may pull it far enough that you can't plug anything in, which then is going to be a big huge ass headache of trying to hook this up. And you want to make sure you're getting a most direct connection, because if not, you are going to have issues with running the cord. Now that's with if you don't have an R-GB box. Now this liquid cooler comes with a hub base where you plug all your fans in, and then one connector goes into your motherboard. So then it really doesn't matter where you put your fans at or which angle your wire comes out at, because you're going to have this plug into this. But if you want a clean installation and you want to hide all these things, then yes, you have to make sure you position this in the right place, or you're going to have a problem with trying to plug all these items in. Now the only thing I don't like about this, with this local cooler, that I've noticed when I purchased it, I didn't know about it until after I purchased it, for some odd reason, that these wires are these are black, and the hub is black. So basically, if you were a person that was building a whole complete white system, you'd have this big ugly black thing in your case and you'd be visible. Now with me, it's not going to be a problem because I have a black case and I'm just using the white as an accent color in the case. So basically, that won't be a problem. But for someone that is building a complete white system, that don't want any black components visible, then this hub you get is black, not white. So if the manufacturer's watching, you should probably have this in white as well. So people that got white systems would have all white components. I know if it was me and I was building a white system, I'd want all the components to be white, because then it'll match. This way, it looks like it was an afterthought. They just made it, threw black one in, and just said, "Oh yeah, that's just cost effective," instead of making one that's white. I know maybe they sell one of these in white on their website, but if you order a white liquid cooler, you should be able to get a white hub to plug your fans into. Okay, now with that said, it's enough said on that front. Now, and the other problem is with the fan connection cable connectors, you gotta be concerned where you're mounting your liquid cooler. Because if you're mounting your liquid cooler and it's next to other fans, your other fans may hook onto the wires and then cut them and then cause a problem down the road, which you may want to avoid doing that. Now mine is going to be mounted in the very top, and the fans are going to point down and the hoses are going to point down on the radiator. I could put the fans the other way, but if I put the fans the other way like this, then I'm sucking warm air back in again, which then I'm creating more problems. Because you want to suck the air out of the system, not blow it into the system. You only want to do that through a intake fan. Now the other thing is as well, I noticed that these fans do have little clips you can put your wire into, so it's a little more cleaner. I would suggest putting it into that little clip right here, because if not, if that wire is loose, it could get stuck in that fan and then cut the wire right off. I know some people already know this, but if you're a new person and you're installing this and it's your first time doing it, I just figured I'd give you all the information that you would need so that you can avoid some of these problems. Now, my computer has everything all on the opposite side of the case. So I'm going to put the wires towards the bottom where the motherboard mounts, because I'm going to run this module box on the opposite side on the bottom, on the other side that opens up on the other cover, so that you can't see the black, so the black will be visible on the other side. That may be why they went with a black one, because some people may put it on the opposite side where it's going to be all sealed and you're not going to see inside anyway. Then the black one really wouldn't matter, but if you're like tight on space, a white one probably would be better when you buy a white liquid cooler. Just a heads up for the manufacturer and some people, just letting you know if you're going to have to mount this inside your case. Okay, I'm just going to turn the video. See, so there's the fan here. I'm going to mount. There's all the 8 holes that we would mount the fans onto. So see where the grills are at. You're going to put that down. Now, if you want, you can put the deep cool lettering and all that the right way up, but I'm going to be hiding my wires, so I'm going to be putting my wires that way, so I can go through the case to go through the opposite side. So I'm going to mount them like so. Now, the screws that we're going to need for this is going to be these ones here. See those really super long ones? Those are the ones that we're going to need. So just give me a moment here. We'll open that up and get the screwdriver. Now, there's different types of screwdrivers that you can use too as well if you want to save time. This is off topic too. But, you know, I'm here as a good everyone information. Use one of these screwdrivers where they make the clicking noise, where they go back and forth. Speeds up the process instead of going like this all the time with your hand. A little less easier on the hand and a lot more quicker assembling. I have used rigid small screwdrivers as well to put the cases together, but you have to make sure you put on small torque so that you don't strip your screws on your torque. Or you can just use an ordinary screwdriver like everyone does, and you can just put it together that way as well if this is all you have available. I'm just going to go with the screw on one. It's a lot more quicker. Now let's open up the screws. So there are the screws here. So basically do the AMD setup. I'm going to put all the screws out. I'm going to show you all the screws and everything you're going to need, so then you know what to disregard. Okay, let's turn the camera over. So that's basically everything you're going to need to mount it. Now the only screws you're not going to need is these ones, that one right there. because they don't have, you need the ones with the flush mount, like that one there. They're the ones that you're going to use to put it on your cooler. Those other ones must be for the Intel setup or for a different setup. I don't see where you could use them, but we'll see in a moment. We'll take a quick look. They could be the screws that they're showing, but we'll have to show that later on. But this video is just to screw the base on and get the fans on. So the screws we're going to start with is these ones here. And then see over here, you're going to take these here, put them through there. Then you're just going to do a little hand tight, just so that the fans don't move when you go try to put the fan in. Okay, now I'll take this out of the way. So then we're going to line that screw up with that hole. Done. Then we're going to take our other one. Tighten that one there. And then two here. One over here. Now we take our other fan. Then we proceed doing the same thing with this one. Oh yeah, deep cool, another little suggestion. Why not make the screws white? You should powder coat the screws for the fans so they're white, so everything is all white. Because I know some people are very particular on building their systems, and they may prefer everything that's super white. But if you want, you can always take the screws and probably spray paint them before you install them if you want to go that route. But I think they should be, everything should be white in that too as well. Alright, so I'll put the screws, we'll tighten the screws down, and then we'll continue on. Those are all the screws installed in tight. Just make sure that they're snug, not loose, and make sure you don't make them too tight, because if you crank them down too tight, you could pull the screws down too far, and then you could snap the fan corners, or you could create damage to your radiator. So just make sure that you snug fit them. Now, next thing we're going to move on to is the CPU mount. And new users as well, make sure that you pull the sticker off before you go and mount it in, because if not, you're going to cause issues. You may cause a fire, it may catch on fire, or the CPU cooler will just not cool, and it'll create a thermal barrier, and then you'll create damage. So make sure you pull this off when you're ready to install it onto the CPU. But as of right now, I'm going to leave it on for the moment. Now see, the next brackets we got to use is these ones. We put them there, and we got to mount the two screws there and that there. So that would be the next thing we need to do. And the screws we're going to use for that installation is going to be the ones with the flathead screws. So I'll screw that on, and I'll show you what that looks like.